Okay, let's stop pretending and dancing around with Visaris and Quarians. Mass Effect has sex. That's why we're here. So let's look at the Batarian Sentinel. Now, all the Batarians are actually very durable. They do kind of rival the Krogans for survivability. Most of them is because they've got blade armor. This works very similar for tech armor. I'm only going to recommend you put 3 points in on the Sentinel, because you know they're like with tech armor. The first evolution gives you 25% damage reduction, not 35, but still very good. Slows down your powers by 50% too, so it's very similar mechanics there. But what the evolutionary trees of this power do, they actually increase your survivability by giving you extra durability and shield recharge, all that kind of good stuff. Or they help you increase your melee damage and also return melee damage to the enemies, because obviously if you're going to be in that kind of close combat range, you're going to be taking some punches yourself, and this helps you just sort of throw the damage right at them. So that's something you can do with every Batarian, is make a melee build out of them. But Sentinels are quite, you know, they're power class. They're a power class, so I'm going to recommend you just get the 3 points for durability, and then we're going to actually make some good use of the powers we've got here. He's got Shockwave, so I'm going to recommend you go for Radius and Reach. Not Detonate, actually. Reach is going to allow us to sort of keep a nice range, so we don't have to get into the thick of it. You don't have any evasive move with a Batarian, so unlike our human with Shockwave, you know, we're going to be in a lot more trouble if we get too close to the wrong enemy. And anyway, Detonate only increases the force and damage of biotic detonations, and we're not going to be getting biotic detonations of this character, because what we're going to be working with is Submission Net. Submission Net is basically like a tech version of Stasis. You're able to use it a lot more frequently, but it's actually got a much higher chance of missing your target. That's kind of where the balance is. It operates differently too, whereas sort of Stasis will weaken the enemy that's captured in this. This will actually do damage to the enemy that's captured in it. For first evolution, I'm going to recommend damage. You can go with Incapacitate. This basically means that the net's on the enemy for longer, and that's not really an issue with the submissive net, because even if well, obviously we're going to catch the enemy, we're going to kill him quick, and that's normally why I wouldn't recommend it. But with submission net, even if the enemy's dead inside it, submission net is still going to affect other enemies around it. So you know that means you wouldn't need to use submissive net so often. You could just basically grapple one enemy in a group and just throw shockwave into that group constantly, and we're going to get ourselves a lot of tech bursts doing that. But I prefer personally to just incapacitate as many enemies as I can. I mean, obviously, if there's less of them shooting at me, I'm going to be taking less damage, and obviously the damage is just going to help me kill them faster, because I am quite happy to just keep throwing submissive net into a group. So damage for the first evolution, and then I'm going to go for damage and slow in the next evolution. Because, like Stasis, Submissive Net will not halt armoured targets, but unlike Stasis, it will actually slow them down, which is pretty useful. But mainly it's for the extra damage, it's another 40% increase to it. Don't need the recharge speed unless you're going to carry a particularly heavy gun on this character. You can use Submissive Net very frequently, you really can. And for the final evolution, this is where I was talking about the crowd control earlier. I'm going to recommend Electric Field. I'm going to demand that you take Electric Field over shields and barriers, because you know, we're going to be tech bursting the submissive net. It does prime for a tech burst, so we really don't need any more help taking out shields and barriers. Whereas electrical field, basically once you've captured an enemy in submissive net, all the enemies around him will be zapped by the net, like a little static shock, and that's going to incapacitate all of them and prime them for tech bursts as well. And obviously the electric field deals damage too. And it's got a decent radius. It is 6 meters, so it's the evolution to have on submissive net. It really is. For Batarian Enforcer, the Batarians bring a nice little bonus to them. It's similar to the Turians. Rather than stability, they actually bring extra ammo bonuses, which is really helpful on some of the Batarians. But obviously, like I said, we're a Sentinel, we're a power class, so I'm going to recommend you take damage and capacity and power damage. But on the last evolution, take damage and ammo. So that's extra weapon damage by 10% and spare ammo by 10%. So those low ammo guns, or ones with a small clip rather, like the Harrier and stuff like that, they're going to really benefit from being on a Batarian. Things like the Riga carbine as well, really great. Fitness, I'm going to recommend all health and shields, despite despite being a really good melee character. We're not going to do it, to be honest. We're just not. Only for novelty are we going to smash enemies in the face, and I don't think I do it in this video. It's just far more efficient for me to just tech burst all the time, and that gives me 1,425 health and shields, which is really, really nice. Okay, then let's look at the weapons. I'm going to be using the talon on this character. I think I've done enough tongue lashings for the talon. I'm going to recommend that you put the piercing mod and the heavy barrel on it, so that we just don't have to worry about getting around the guardians. Although shockwave is going to just knock the shield out of the way and allow us a headshot, so you can go for the extra, the magazine upgrade if you wanted to. But get the heavy barrel on, so you're doing that extra damage. There's going to be no effect on our recharge speed because it's not a DLC weapon, as I've mentioned before. Basically, what you want to think of the Batarian, though, is like a sort of close range Asari adept. If you've seen that video that I did, obviously, I kept my distance with her, and I just sort of kind of sniped with the paladin. Whereas we're so much more durable now. We want to be up close, so we just want sort of hard hitting, a sort of shotgun style weapon. So I'm going to recommend the Wraith as well. That's going to be really useful. Obviously, if you haven't got those ultra rares, you can use the Eviscerator, even the Disciple. They're weaker, but they work to the same effect. They do quite consistently stagger enemies, especially if they've lost their shields and stuff like that. So that's going to keep them off their feet and everything. So it's all going to be good. Like I said before, though, there is the extra ammo with the Batarian, so you can just use a Riga carbine. That thing does ridiculous damage when you're up in the enemy's face. I mean, truly ridiculous damage. And also, you can go with something like the Harrier if you wanted to. I mean, Harriers are great on Batarians, they just really are. But I'm going to recommend that you go for something lightweight, so we can really spam our submissive net and shockwave and stuff, getting a lot of tech bursts in. And obviously we got really good firepower still with something like the Talon and the Wraith. Okay, so you're not really losing firepower by going down to the Talon and Wraith. Really isn't going down, trust me. For equipment, though, I am going to recommend elemental ammo, obviously, so we can do lots of explosions. I'm going to use Disruptor in this game, just so I can get tech bursts without submissive net. Sometimes I'm just going to pop some shots in an enemy, and I can just shockwave them, and that's going to be a quick tech burst. Tech burst, or any kind of explosion set up from ammo, is always going to be weaker than those set up by powers. It's just how they work. The powers get all these extra bonus evolutions. You can increase detonation damage and all this kind of good stuff. So, they're always going to be stronger than what you can get with your ammo. But that doesn't mean that they're useless, because an explosion's an explosion. For the armor bonus, you can go for a cyclonic modulator. I mean, if you put a 3 and 4 on this, even like 2, you're going to be really, really tanky with that and blade armor on at the same time. You don't need to be that tanky, though. You have got some great health and shields already. You can go with Adrenaline module. That'll help you survive, increase your maneuverability. There's no evasive move on the Batarian, so if you can get that extra speed, you can obviously move out of danger much easier. But what I'm going to use is a power amplifier, so that my powers really do hurt when they're making contact. But if you went with a heavier gun, you can use a power efficiency module too. For the gear, I'm going to be using the commando package again. I mean, I have got shockwave, and I am using a pistol, so that's going to work out great for me. You can go with a mental focuser, because that's a 12% increase to all power damage, so that's both of your powers covered. So you know, that's a really great Sentinel Gear. You can go with Omni Capacitors as well. That's going to increase your recharge speed if you went with a heavier gun again, and obviously there's the tech damage increase, so your submissiveness damage over time is going to get a nice little boost there. You can also go with structural ergonomics if you did go with something heavy, like the Riga carbine. You know, that's got a nice recharge speed bonus, because we really do want to be using submissiveness or not. It is stasis. It really is our stasis. And obviously you can just be ridiculously tanky and take all that kind of good stuff I showed you before, the survivor loadout, the stronghold package, and the shield booster. Alright, then I'm going to get my pistol rail lamp then on for my weapon bonus, and then we're going to jump into the gameplay. Alright then, I'm with Dom and a buddy of his called Platus or something like that. Sorry if I got your name wrong. New player, I assume. He's got a lot of stuff to unlock in his manifest, and he's working on the challenges. So we've gone ahead and picked Cerberus so he can get his Cerberus mastery. I think I also picked the map. I've gone ahead and picked Reactor. I really want to kind of show you all the maps. When I was doing Unknown, I just kept getting Dagger. They were just giving me Dagger so much, and Glacier was just really common. You know, I could just bombard you with like 3 maps constantly in all my videos, but I really wanted to show you gameplay for all of them, so I've picked Reactor for this. So there you go, we're jumping in. As you can see, I get my blade armor straight on, and I'm never going to take it off. I just never take it off. I mean, with the Batarian Sentinel, I would occasionally pop it to get Phantom off my ass, but I've got submissive net now, so submission net, whatever. I really don't need to ever take off my blade armor. And this is literally how it's going to work. I am going to send out submission net first and foremost, and then I'm going to shoot and follow it up with a shockwave. Submission net will home to a certain degree. I mean, obviously, if you've got the enemy as a target, it's going to try and home them, but the enemy can dodge roll it, and it can just plain old miss, you know. Because it's a projectile, it travels, and, you know, especially on a laggy kind of game, you can miss quite a lot. But I can mix it up. I do have the disruptor ammo. See, there's a Cerberus trooper just rolling out the way. Cerberus are very good at getting out the way. I think pretty much all of their troops have got a dodge roll. You know, I think the only one that hasn't is like that Atlas, who's just got incredible health. What's really nice as well, I got some biotic teammates here. I can't remember what Asari Dom is. Dom was having an Asari day, which didn't last. He quickly went to a Geth infiltrator because he's a coward. And I think Platos was playing something biotic-y, possibly an Asari. I'm sure we got a Huntress, might be Dom. But anyway, because of their kicking about, I can obviously get biotic detonations for them with Shockwave. I've got a really nice range and radius, so I can just get, like, I can see a crowd of enemy and I can hit every single one of them. See, these are the Guardians. I got piercing on my talon, so I can just shoot them in the face. It's going to be less damaging, but the damage is still there. It's a talon. I can also I can shockwave them and knock their shield out of the way and just pop them in the head for full damage there. See, I can attack from really great range actually. My electric field is just going to be out there, and I can just shockwave and I'm going to hit somebody. See, this is, sometimes they just don't react. What can you do? See, quite frequently, if I catch one enemy on his own, I'm going to kill that. See, that he could have finished me off, but the electric field stunned him. So even though he wasn't the one I caught, he was still incapacitated. So it was all very good stuff. Forget what I was just about to say. It might come to me later. Also, a good thing to note, I mean, I have mentioned getting all your power recharge up if you go for something heavy. The Batarians, like the Turians, have got a higher capacity than most other classes. So you know they can actually carry a heavy weapons and still have a really nice recharge speed. He's a very flexible character, actually. As you can see, I got no shield boosting equipment on. I'm literally just running around with my great health and shield and blade armor, and I'm doing really fine for health and stuff. The Atlas is the only thing that's really going to challenge my health, and I will take cover and try and get a better position on the Atlas. You'll quite frequently see me try and take cover to the left side of the big boss enemies, because they're like, most of them, I'm pretty sure all of them maybe, are all right-handed. So you know, if you're on the left side, you've got a shot on them, but they haven't actually got a shot on you. So you know, that's pretty useful, I find. They're very good They are very good characters, the Batarians. They really are. You can almost forgive them for being the colossal twats that they are in the single player. You don't, though. I will still leave that guy in Bring Down the Sky to die a slow and painful death. Even though he doesn't. Spoiler alert, by the way. The game's a year old now, so... and that's Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 1 is like 5 years old or something, so... if you haven't done that yet... It's just that you can just do really, really nice damage with this guy, and what I love about him is that I'm not stuck just taking on the non-armored targets. You know, electrical field's going to slow down armored targets and set them up for tech burst, so I can just take on all comers with his two abilities. He does sync quite nicely. You can fully spec out blade armor, because on the 6th evolution there is a power recharge as an evolution. See there, see how far away my shockwave was from that. But if you look at the kill feed, then the shockwave is what killed the Phantom. That's the reach and the radius really in play there. You will hit an enemy if you throw a shockwave in anywhere in their vicinity. Yeah. Obviously the Batarian's Falcon Punch Heavy Melee is very entertaining, but don't you worry, there are more Batarians and you will get plenty of opportunity to see that in play. It's just like I said, this is a power class, you know, it's inefficient to go in the melee attack, because I can just do so much more damage through tech bursts and shots from my talon, to be honest. I only have one melee Batarian, to be honest. Like I said, at any other time I melee with a Batarian is just for novelty purposes. You know, try and get my mate up here, but the one button to rule them all is just going to constantly put me in cover. Couldn't pick him up. He's a new guy, so I'm guessing he's kind of low on his consumables and all that kind of stuff, so he wasn't able to gel out of the way for the Atlas, or if he could, he's really saving it for the later waves. I understand that there's plenty of new players out there. I mean, there are new players. You do your quick matches, and you see these guys jump in with their really low level weaponry and stuff. And you know, you gotta be more flexible for those kind of people. But you know, I still urge everybody to, you know, not be stingy with their equipment. You need to make the right choices with it. If you can, I mean, it's like if you know that the wave's still kind of a bit busy, or even if the team's struggling, like you cannot bleed out on them. I don't care if it's your last mighty gel. You cannot bleed out on them. If they really need that fourth man, it doesn't matter if you've got a gel for the later wave because nobody's going to see it. Get up and help. I mean, this is we can all plug mics in at the end of the day. I mean, if you're unsure, if you want to know, just plug your mic in and ask, do you guys need me to gel? I'm sure somebody will reply. Yeah, the enemy do drop down in this map quite frequently, and because of my shockwave, I'm still going to go get them before they even come onto the map. I was quite happy to do a Cerberus gameplay. To be honest, it was going to show you. Well, it's going to show you how it works. The submissive net. It is a phantom stopper. It really is. Also, this is Reactor. First time on this map. I haven't even done the hazards yet or anything. Hazard's fun. Although the hazard's not really a hazard to you guys unless you've got a dick on your team, to be honest. To my knowledge, that thing does not go off at random. Somebody needs to trigger the hazard on this map. See now, obviously I would recommend keeping your distance from the phantoms. You've got no evasive move, but when she's right up in your face, that's when she's incapable of avoiding submissive net. Really, she can't react fast enough to that. That was the D-pad killing me again. I tried to ops pack, got my rockets out. See, now I'm in trouble. She's right up in my face, but submissive net. She tries to cartwheel out the way, but it's just too close. It's gonna get her. So that is a last resort. I would opt for using your submissive net over your shockwave if she's really up in your face. That's gonna help you survive that situation a lot better. Also, if you're having a hard time trying to catch her, because she will evade it quite efficiently, you can let her get close, to be honest, and let her get into melee range, and then shoot it. You're probably guaranteed to get her every time then. I'll stay flexible. I'll try and keep my distance, but if it isn't working out, then I'll move in. I'll change it up, and I'll go get her that way. Right, let's start looking into these spawn points then. Wave 7, you know how I roll. I'm going to run to the very back, right, down here. Actually, I thought I was going to go for the back one. I must have heard them. So down there is a big spawn point. Right at the back as well here is a big spawn point. They'll either be right in the centre or they'll be down in that little trench at the back there. They do spawn a lot there, especially the big boss enemies. The enemy will spawn at LZ, they will spawn there, and they'll also spawn at the little ladder section just in front of LZ at the bottom. I think this is where this spawn is actually coming from right now. It's like same kind of stuff you were seeing in the Human Adept gameplay there. Obviously I'm going to prime the target, I'm going to go up behind cover and I'm going to throw shockwave through it, because you can. Shockwave goes through all things. You can even throw it from one floor down to the other. This is a spawn point for the enemy as well. They will all spawn near this ammo box, and to my left now there's a wall that you can go behind. There's like a little alley behind there, and they'll all spawn there too. There you go. See, I submitted at the Nemesis. Dom charges in. He got a tech burst on both of the Phantoms. And didn't kill them, but the damage was done. That's the electric field. It's very, very good evolution. It's a must. It really is, to be honest. And you can see I can get submission out really fast. That's something you can do with the Batarian. I don't play with the Bwnci engineer. He's the only other character in the game that's got submissive net, and the reason I don't is not because I think he's shit or anything. It's just the fact that his powers, he's got submissive net and incinerate, so he's very much the same deal as the Batarian Sentinel. If I was ever to recommend how to play that character, it'd be like this. You'd obviously change you'd exchange tankiness for health regeneration. I have got Bwnci, so you will see Bwncis in play from me, but they got health regeneration over tankiness, so they, rather than just take a lot of, looks, I'm in another bad situation, sufficient there. Rather than just take a lot of damage, they can just sort of take cover for a very short period of time and they're ready to go again. And that's basically what you're doing. It's exactly the same mechanic, but I've just got health regeneration over tankiness, and that's why I don't see there any reason to play the Bwnci. Just because the way submissive net works, I would prefer to be tanky as opposed to be able to sleek away and survive. But it's just submissive net incinerate, submissive net shockwave. But what I was originally trying to make the point of is, I believe his submissive net is different. It came out bugged originally. By bugged, it basically was the original submissive net. Submissive net has had a lot of buffs over the years. I mean, before you could spam it a lot less, and it did a lot less damage. It was just less of a power, really. But now, you can obviously, it does a lot of damage. You can get out very quickly. When the Bwnci engineer first came out, he had the original submissive net with none of the buffs applied to it, and then eventually bioware gave him a different one. The stats are slightly different on it. It does not operate like the Batarians, and the Batarian has a better submissive net as a result, to be honest, if I remember correctly from what I've heard. I've never ever built the Bwnci engineer because he's a less efficient Batarian Sentinel. I'm telling my mates now we need to get out of this trench because obviously we've got the enemy pouring in at the back and at the top and in the middle then, so we're going to get trapped. So we're going to try and fight our way out here. You always, you need to always be aware of your surroundings, and you just need to make the right decision. It's like we weren't going to do well. I was having to pick up the random and platters is starting to struggle at this point, so it's just a matter of we need a better position in the map now. This back area here, this is the best place to defend on this map. You've got the ammo box, and normally the enemy will flood one by one through this reactor here. If you're on hazard reactor, you can bake them, but this basically means you can just sort of choke them and just take them out one by one. It's the best way to defend. There's very few enemies will actually come round the side. As long as you do your checks, you can catch them, but very few enemies actually try to come round and flank you, even the phantoms, although they're the ones that will do it. That's the alley I was talking about earlier for a spawn point. That's where I'm gonna go at least for extraction wave. I'm just gonna try and hold there for a while, choke the enemy through, kite them away from LZ, because LZ on this map is very, very difficult to defend. I just don't do it. It's a stupid place to try and hold up. You're just right in it, because down there, where I was just running from now, that is a big spawn point, and obviously the enemy will spawn down there by the ammo box, by the ladder. They'll spawn in that alleyway I was showing you, and they'll just spawn in that little spot there, and they'll be on you so fast, so frequently. And you're just out in the open. You really are just out in the open. It's a terrible place to be. So yeah, I'm telling everyone to come to me now and just sort of hold back here. The pugs doing typical pug warfare and just trying to hold LZ, and that's not smart. But fortunately, because me, Dom and Platters are here, the enemy are going to come to us more than him, I think. We're literally just tunneling them for a just there's a phantom that came behind. Dom called it out. We turned around, we took him out, and then we can just keep bringing the Atlas and stuff our way. I think the pugs realised that LZ was a bad idea, and he's come and joined us now. See, that's another thing with the Phantom as well. She will try and bubble the net, and then that's just a free shot for me as well. And I'm going to set her up for a tech explosion with my gun. So, you know, it's just really good Phantom killer, Batarian Sentinel. Haha! I just realised this is actually wave 10. It's not extraction. We're doing a hack. Extraction is going to be a very similar deal. So that pug was just being an idiot. Then I thought that's why I thought it was extraction. Actually, I saw him over there. I'm just going to get the wave finished now. I'm going to take out a bunch of them. That's the best hack on this map. Then it really is, because it's LZ. It's extraction point in it. See, I'm gonna tell everyone to stay here. Batters is here. The pug has gone for LC. Tom likes to nuke spawns on extraction wave. I keep telling him not to do that. Because it's pointless. The enemy just respawn constantly. There is a constant stream of enemies. You can't kill all the enemies on extraction wave. And the whole point in holding a position is about getting the enemy. It's about you know, defending a position and keeping the enemy away from LZ in the end, because you know, you're dragging them to a different point in the map, really. So if you nuke them, you're just going to force them to spawn somewhere else, which is usually closer to you. And you know, you haven't helped the situation, because those enemies are instantly back. So you know, other than gaining some cheap points, it's a pointless thing to do. You're always better off just sort of kiting them in a strong position. So it's about 30 seconds on the clock. This is when you make your run. There's a load of enemies that spawn down there, actually, and they're just going to throw some missiles at me, but I'm Batarian. I'm going to just take two, eat an ops pack and go. Phantoms are here. Take them out. That was a nice just missing out on the one Phantom. I was in the middle, jumping over cover. And then you've got just 10 seconds here, then you're fine. You can leave it to 20 seconds, 25 seconds too. I call that the scenic route. You just take the long outside one, because then basically you've drawn the enemy to the back of the map, and then you've just come round to the front of it. And the stupid thing is, those enemies will try and follow you round most of the time, as opposed to just turn around and get you. But there you go. That's that. Painless game, really. Batarian Sentinels. One of my favourite Sentinels, actually. I do really enjoy playing the Batarian Sentinel. I hope you can see why. Give him a go. He's not pretty, but he's pretty effective. Alright then, guys, I'm going to take off. I'll leave you the score. I'll catch you in the next video.